Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's about 4:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. I am the Artful Rhino, Matt Prophet. This is a special reflection video I'd like to do. I want to share just a couple brief personal details about who I am as a person. For those of you who I'm friends with on Facebook that know me as an artist, as a Special Olympics athlete, but most importantly as a human being, and for those of you who know me professionally as a Colonel Matt Prophet, Kentucky Colonel, and as Rhino Prophet, which is a nickname and my alias that I've had since frickin' high school. Allow me to introduce you to who I really am. My name is Matthew Philip Prophet, and I am 34 years old. And I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. I was born February the 15th, 1989, at the old St. Anthony Hospital in downtown Louisville, in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I know little to nothing about my biological parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mortimer Farrell. However, I was adopted upon hours before my birth by Mr. and Mrs. Larry Joe Prophet. My parents, Mr. and Mrs. Larry Joe Prophet, my late father, and my awesome stable mother, Lana Catula Prophet. Obviously, in my regards, were awesome. Unfortunately, my father, Larry Joe Prophet, is no longer with us. He passed away April 29th, 1994, about 2 months shy of his 40th birthday. This is a reflection video of some stuff I've dealt with in my past. Some tough shit growing up as far as grief goes. For those of you on my Facebook account who may be watching this, I'm going to post it there. But I wanted to just say that that I am a happy guy, yes. But sometimes even I, as happy as I am, even I have my share of struggles. Post my dad's funeral in 1994, I kind of grew up. I grew up in a single-parent home. I know my mother, she is so awesome. I like to give her some praise. She, after Dad died, she stepped up to play both mom and dad because one, I needed a lot of encouragement, especially going through school. Not just grade school, especially after high school when I went to vocational college down in Johnson County, Kentucky, at the Carl D. Perkins Vocational Training School, which I understand is a trade school now. It's like a Job Corps school. Kentucky, I was in folk rehab. My mother encouraged me, as did many others in my circle, as well as my mother's, because without all the success I wouldn't be successful. I wouldn't be where I am now. So I have several names to thank. Due to time constraints, I can't thank them all individually, but I want to thank them all. You all know who you are. And sometimes, you know that feeling when you just feel like giving up? You know what I'm talking about? You feel like giving up and you don't know where to go. You don't know who to turn to, or you don't know what the hell you want to do. I encourage you all not to think like that. I know at one time, especially going through puberty, I did struggle with those feelings myself. At one time, it was, I was just getting off a Christmas break. It was right before, sometime between the end of January, middle of January and the beginning of February, my sophomore year of high school. That would have been February of, like, late January, maybe early February 2005. I was getting ready to turn 16, y'all. One night I tried, this may be difficult for some of y'all to hear, and I know it's difficult for me to talk about, but, it was the weekend before it was a few days before the weekend before the Super Bowl, actually. 2 days before it. I tried to attempt suicide. And I explained to my mom that this was a trial run to see if it would work. But then, over my mother's intervention, I'm glad she actually intervened. She told me to pack a bag because she was taking me to the hospital. She did not want to lose me. And I'm glad she did. Because without her intervening, if she wouldn't have stepped in, and if I wouldn't have, as reluctant as it may have been, if I wouldn't have gone, as reluctant as I was to go, I wouldn't be here. You all wouldn't have me here, and I wouldn't have made the connections, the positive connections, and I wouldn't have all the positive influences on my life, and I wouldn't have the positive influences on others as I do now, and you all wouldn't have the positive influences on me as of now. So I cannot thank, those who I've met over the course. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm going to be 35 this coming February the 15th, okay? February the 15th, 2024 will be my 35th birthday. 35 years. And in 35 years, roughly almost 35 years of life on this earth, I must say I had my challenges. But, I've accepted those challenges. I've conquered those challenges. I've accepted those challenges. I faced them one-on-one, sometimes as a whole. Be it in athletics, forget athletics. These are challenges through life. I faced them. I accepted their challenges. I faced the challenges. I conquered those challenges, and I overcame the tough shit in life. I encourage you all to look at life's challenges, take them as they come, and keep your heads above water. I'd also like to talk a little bit about my faith and where I stand. In a recent video, I mentioned I was a Christian. I am a Christian. I follow the Christian faith, especially the Lutheran denomination. the Lutheran denomination of the Christian faith. And I'd like to give a special shout out to a dear friend of mine, my pastor, Carlene Young, at Grace and Glory Lutheran Church out in Goshen, Kentucky. Pastor Carlene, I know you're going to see this eventually, but I want to give a shout out to you and the rest of the congregation out there in our small corner, like our small. No matter how small our congregation is, it's only about 25, 35 people, including me and Mom. I'm not sure the exact number. I guess it gets between 25 and 35. Carlene, Susan Krebs, if you're watching, can you, I know you just retired from being our church secretary, but can you, somehow this gets to Susan Krebs, can, you give me an exact estimate of how big our congregation is or how small, whatever. But anyway, getting back to, if you can, Susan, I'd appreciate it. Love you guys. Anyway, getting back to Carlene, I've got nothing but the utmost praise for Carlene, as well as our congregation and our neighbors at Third Lutheran, who we shared a facility with at one time. And I'd also like to, speaking of Third Lutheran, I got a couple people from that congregation, a couple friends who I personally know from Third Lutheran. Some fellow Lutherans of mine who also play in my Hold'em League, who I see on occasion. Marshall and Christine Haberlin. I know you two are watching. I miss playing with you guys in LBT. I know there's been some stuff going on between you two, and I hope to see you guys again. Hope we can get that issue resolved. Marshall and Christine, I love you both. I know you guys will see this eventually as well. But I've got nothing but praise from my faith, my church, my pastor, my fellow parishioners, and I'd like to give you all thanks for that. I'd also like to let's go to the subject of faith, especially the subject of grief. That's one thing I'd like to touch on. One thing I'd like to touch on is, in addition to my faith, I also turn to one place. Besides turning to my faith, I also turn to a couple of people. Actually, to an organization, actually, with several wonderful people called Bridgehaven here in Louisville. And they've actually was referred to them by a staff member down there who's a dear friend of ours, Artie, who I've known since I graduated since I've been in high school, who's a staff member down there. A dear friend of mine on a personal and professional level. Both of them. I explained to my mother, and she must have overheard it. I was looking for someone to talk to as far as grief, and already mentioned Bridgehaven. So I'm currently down there, and I started going down there in 2022 for the Grief and Loss group. And I would like to say that I am currently celebrating that on October the 10th, I believe is the exact date of this year, October 10th, 2023, I celebrated 1 year as a Bridgehaven attendee. I would say a client at Bridgehaven, but I'm gonna have one that's as a Bridgehaven attendee. I'm gonna do you one better. I'm celebrating 1 year. A little over 1 year, actually. 14 months. It's 14 months this year in December of 2023 as a member of the Bridgehaven family. That's what the staff member down there, that's what the staff is down there to me, and that's what all my fellow family members, clients, and staff, especially my CET crew. Shout out, I know I'm only friends with a couple of you down there in CET, like maybe 2, 3. But, I consider you all my equals. I consider you all my family. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for Ridgehaven. They saved my life, as did several other organizations in my life. Dreams with Wings, Special Olympics Kentucky, the Fraternal Order of Eagles, which I'm a member of. FOE Area 1527 over in Jeffersonville, Indiana. I'd like to give a shout out to them, especially to I'd like to give a shout out to a couple dear guy friends over there. I want to give a shout out to Mike Jacobs, a former Eagles president, and my neighbor up at the river. Mike, I know I met you on Facebook, and I know you don't get on Facebook that much, but I'll text you and I'll let you know I tagged you in this video. But Mike and his co-worker at the auto shop, Rick, who's a let me tell you about these two guys. These two guys actually sponsored me to become a member of the Eagles Club. Mike is a neighbor of my mother and Mike's a neighbor of my mother and I up at our place at the river in Charlestown. Now, I know being a Eagles member, you can go into any one of them, but the one I pay dues at is the one, my dues paying one I'm sworn in at, is Jeffersonville, Indiana. Area number 1527. Several of my river friends are up there. Several other friends who I've made friends with up there are members there on the Indiana side. Mike Jacobs and Rick. I'm not sure what Rick's last name is. Mike, you probably know this, but and I also like to give a shout out to Mike Fink and his lovely wife Sherry Fink. Sherry Fink, a former Madam President of the Ladies Auxiliary. I understand they got married about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years, give or take a week and a half. And I understand they're happily married. So cheers to you guys, Mike, Sherry, Mike Jacobs, Rick, Eagles. That's one of the organizations I'm very happy to be involved with. I'm also happy to be a Kentucky Colonel. And I'm also happy to be an alumni of Jeffersontown High School. As you can see, I'm wearing my orientation trip shirt from the summer of 2007 after my junior year, after school let out from my junior year. We all went to the Marine Corps Barracks, Quantico, toured Washington, D.C., and that's another program I'm thankful that I was involved with and I continue to be an influence on, is the Jeffersontown High School Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, JROTC program at Chayton High School. Recently, earlier this year, and I think it was in April, I participated in a craft show for the ROTC program put on. I got to meet the current instructor down there, the major. I got to shake his hand and tell him who I was, and a couple of cadets down there. I got to meet them, and I got to talk to a couple of them. Got to talk to the cadet commanding officer down there. Got to meet the XO, and they got to talk to a couple of them. I said, guys, cadets, my name is Matt Profit, and I'm an alumni of the program. I explained to them when I graduated, I was the first sergeant of the program. And I wish them nothing but the best of luck. They asked me, a couple questions, what my experience was, and I just told them I was determined to graduate with the program with honors. Even though it wasn't like honor roll or anything, I was. And I know a couple of others down there through the ROTC program, like some of my fellow alumni who graduated ahead of me, and some who I graduated with. including my instructors, Sergeant Major Mike Wren. I know I'm friends with you on Facebook, sir. And Lieutenant Colonel Mark Dobbs, who I still talk to on the phone at least every November 10th, the Marine Corps birthday. Maybe a couple times a year, depending. I met several of you through the program who have influenced me, and I can't remember one of you who did not say I came a long way. I believe you guys, but you know what? That's because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to be a great influence, not just in the hallways, not just in the classroom or information. I wanted to make a difference in the community. But then again, life does have its challenges. My school career was, a rough, kind of an emotional time for me, emotionally. But it wasn't until I went to Carl Perkins, my vocational school I mentioned, that I actually grew up, because Paintsville, Kentucky is about 3.5 hours away from my hometown of Louisville. It's a lot less populated, and it's a lot more rural landscape, like out in the sticks, than the big city of Louisville, Kentucky, which is 500,000 people, compared to, this is significantly smaller. Paintsville is, especially in the small community of Thelma, Kentucky, which is where the campus is located, about 10 minutes from downtown. And I would like to thank everyone who's been involved with me in the education system. Teachers, assistants, counselors, the principals, the assistant principals, bus drivers, custodians, even those who I know who are teachers who I did not learn from, that I learned from today, especially through faith, like Philip Ferris. Phil, I know you're probably watching this. I know Phil, I know you're probably just getting up, and I know you gotta teach grades. I know you gotta go to frickin' your grade school that you teach, and I think it's Chenoweth, either Chenoweth or Hawthorne. I want to say Chenoweth. Phil, if I butchered your school's name, if I get your school's name mixed up, I dearly apologize, but I want to say you either teach at Chenoweth or Hawthorne. If I got the wrong answer of either of those two, forgive me. I still love you anyway, Phil. Oh, speaking of you, Phil, I want to give you a shout out. I know I nominated you for Kentucky Colonel, so I want to tell you, welcome to the club, Colonel Ferris. And I want to say thank you to all those teachers who I still keep in touch with today, like I said, Sergeant Major Wren, Lieutenant Colonel Dobbs, Sarah Weaver, and at this time I want to memorialize Miss Ann Wise, as well as who's a teacher assistant who passed away a couple years ago. I know sometimes she was hard on us students, maybe a little more stricter than other teacher assistants, but I know when I was little, going through school, I know sometimes I didn't want to deal with people griping at me, but the teachers who griped at me, they did it because they cared. And I'm fully thankful of you guys that did care. I love you all equally. I love you all dearly. And also, memorializing Miss Wise, I would like to memorialize another teacher of mine who I had in high school, Miss Retanya Willis. I understand she passed away a few years back as well. She was She passed away real too young of some kind of sickness. But, actually, no, I think when she died, she had just gotten married about a year before. Brittanya Willis Friedman was her married name. But, I want to memorialize her. Miss Wise, Miss Friedman, I love you guys. Fly high. Thank you guys for the memories. So, for all my teachers, past and present, and including Miss Mickey Graff. Miss Graff, I had this wonderful lady since the third grade at J-Town Elementary. Her and I, after I graduated from J-Town Elementary in 2000, I saw her again on a couple occasions until her and I reconnected in the classroom at J-Town High School. And Miss Graff and I knew each other outside of school as well, because she was a neighbor of my Uncle Mark over in the Crestwood area, my mom's older brother. And I'd also like to give a shout out to another special person, who was a teacher of mine for a brief 2 years, from the first and second grade, and then 2 weeks in the third grade. Miss Carol Barth, who was a neighbor of ours in the St. Regis Park area, right around the corner in the cul-de-sac. I forget the name of that cul-de-sac, but it was adjacent to my street, Lincoln Road. So, Miss Barth, I know it was good seeing you at the football game that one day. Go Cards. Hope you get to see hope you're going to see the Holiday Bowl between us and Southern California, which is one of the dream matches I wanted to see. So, hope you get to watch it, Miss Barth. Say hey to Chief Barth next time you talk to him for me, okay? But, all my teachers, no matter who they are, past, present, and some I'm still learning from. I love you all. I love you, especially all my friends I still keep in touch from grade school that I graduated school with, so I love you all. I love you all as a family. You guys are my family, my extended family. I love you guys so much. I love you more than you'll ever know. I'd like to close by quoting the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, the late Virgil Runner, the late professional wrestling WWE Hall of Famer Virgil Runnels, who's professionally known as the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And he said this during his 06 acceptance speech. His acceptance speech during the 2006 Hall of Fame. About it being an honor to be there. And that is truly, and I would like to quote him by saying, truly, tonight I have been wined and dined with kings and queens. And I would also like to quote Jimmy V, that if you ever think about giving up, if life's throwing you a bunch of curveballs and you want to give up, and if you want to end it all, I encourage you all to take these words seriously, and I want you all to live by these words every day. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. I know the holidays are hard, especially for me, but don't give up. Don't ever give up. And I want you to repeat those words to yourself. And I want you to repeat them in a tone where you believe them with your heart and your soul. Say it with me now. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Let me say it one more time. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. I love you all, and I hope you enjoy this reflection video. Like, comment, subscribe. My name is Matt Prophet, the Artful Rhino. I love you all. I love you all more than you'll ever know. You all know that, right? So, I'd like to thank everyone who's been behind me for support throughout my almost 35 years of life on this earth. We're not done here, folks. Let's keep this moving. I want to live long. I got several goals I want to keep that I want to get done. I got several people I want to meet, several sites I want to see, several places I want to go. A bunch of shit. I still got a bunch of shit to do in this life on this rock. So by all means, if y'all are feeling down, reach out for help. Hell, reach out to me. I don't care what the hell time it is. It could be freaking 2:45 in the morning. You can call me. I might not answer, but call me, leave me a message, say, hey, Matt. Just reach out to someone. Reach out to someone. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. I love you all. Let's keep this train rolling. So, the positivity train is at the station. Get on the train right now. So, for the negative people, all the negative people out there, if you're in the way, we're going to roll right through you. Positive people, if you want to make the change, in the words of U of L football, if you're in the way, and if you're negative, you're in the way, and if you're in the way, we're going to roll right through you. Get on board or get out the way, because we're coming through with positivity. I love you guys. Peace.